Well, folks, good morning and welcome in the day after the big day. The day after the big day. 9 minutes into the 7 o'clock hour, kicking off the first hour of the two best hours of local live talk radio here in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Mornings in Meridian. Our number, of course, 601-485-9191. You got Rob and Charles Frazier in with you this morning. And Charles, the day after Election Day.
I am just so happy that we finally have a coroner. My goodness.
It's over.
I feel like I'm not ready to pass, but, I feel comfortable now if I was.
Let's all say it together.
Stella! Hope she's listening.
That's like the bat signal. Stella.
When we first moved up here from New Orleans, we got a dog, of course, and I wanted to name the dog Stella so that I could stand on the back porch and just yell, Stella! Of course, Stella is my next door neighbor.
Yeah.
But then my wife said no. My sister-in-law was pregnant and was going to name her daughter Stella. So I couldn't name the dog Stella before the niece. But anyway.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of numbers to go over this morning from a very busy night here in Lauderdale County and the surrounding counties. Of course, the governor's race really taking the front and headlines this morning, and rightfully so. Governor Tate Reeves has won a second term. The Associated Press called the race last night. It was late into the night. I mean, it got about maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock last night. And, of course, Brandon Presley conceded around that time. And then, of course, Reeves made his victory speech thereafter. So,
And I would like to say that you yesterday predicted, I think, between 51 and 53% victory for the governor.
Thank you, sir.
And what was the actual percentage? Do you have that?
It was, 51 plus?
I think it was almost 52, like right smack in the middle. You're like Jimmy the Greek.
Yeah.
You're not Greek.
Nor
is your name Jimmy, but, that's all right.
Well, and there was another race, too, I had said yesterday that I felt like was going to be very, very interesting, and boy, did it ever get interesting. That was District 2 Supervisor.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into that coming up. But
razor thin.
So, but before we get to our first call that's holding on the line, I will say this. It is an historic day here in Lauderdale County. Of course, we do have a new coroner in Stella McMahon, the first woman to serve in that office.
Sure.
Congratulations to Stella McMahon. Very long campaign for that office.
Yeah.
With a very busy primary, and of course, but big congrats to her. Well earned, and I know she'll do a fine job as our new coroner. And of course, on the sheriff's race,
definitely.
Billy Solly, just unbelievable job that he's done, and near 2 decades plus, and we got a sheriff-elect now in Ward Calhoun
passing the mantle, and I think that Ward's going to do a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
I mean, he trained with the best, so he's learned from him, and he's going to continue kind of Sheriff Solly's legacy.
Absolutely. So let's go to the phone line. We'll get to all the numbers coming up shortly. A lot of stuff very predictable, as we thought yesterday, but let's go to our first phone call of the day. Hey, caller, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all doing today?
We're just breaking down numbers and breaking it down.
Yeah. Well, how many people voted for the coroner's race?
Let me see here.
We had 16,000 in the county, so I'd imagine it was about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was...
unless there were a few skipped, but...
Yeah, the ballots cast overall for Lauderdale County was 18,101, and that was about just a tick under 44%. But as far as the coroner's race was concerned, you had, 18,101. Stella got 11,220. Tarita Jack, 6,576.
Man, that's amazing. That's more candidates than people voted.
And 21
and
there was 21 write-ins. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
21 write-ins. I wonder who they wrote in.
I wrote in Buddy.
You wrote in Buddy.
Why not?
Oh, there you go.
No,
okay.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I
Buddy
tell you what I voted for.
Buddy for coroner. Zane, I think we can all agree. I think we can all agree it was the story of the year here on WALT was coroner.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I guess I got the last corner joke in. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh no, we got more.
We're not
going to stop there.
And now with Stella,
stop.
Yeah, instead of a bat signal, we're just going to yell for the corner.
Exactly. Somebody dying over here.
Yeah,
call for Stella.
Hey, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little disappointed at some of these other races, though. The Democrats won in so many different places, and it was just kind of a bad night for pro-life. And
Yeah.
that's just kind of really disheartening.
Yeah, the abortion issue in Ohio and Virginia. And we were talking about this off air before we got on the air, especially Ohio. I think that marijuana initiative, too, on the ballot in Ohio really pushed a lot of the younger vote. And obviously, with that younger vote, which way are they going to vote on the abortion initiative, too? So,
yeah, well, I guess just the whole world's going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah. And of course, that's the abortion issue is going to be that one issue that Democrats are really going to kind of grasp on after last night and really kind of push forward with, because there's not a lot of other issues to really run a good record on. So,
yeah, that's for sure.
So
anyway, well, at least we prevailed in Mississippi. So
that's right.
I know a lot of people aren't fans of Tate, but he was just a better choice, and he hadn't done that bad of a job. But he did alienate a few people with a flag and everything. But I think it's just a better choice than out-of-state money.
Yeah, and Tate was very effective in using that in his campaign strategy, and I think that resonated with a lot of people. You think, okay, Presley was such a moderate that it would appeal to some of the kind of the moderate Republicans, right. And but yeah, once you start looking at where his funding comes from, you think, what's really the agenda behind it, and how much control would they have and influence And we don't want to play that game. We don't want New York and California coming in here and influencing things. So I think we made the right decision as a state.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just going to check in with you guys and try to get the last corner joke in, but I guess there'll probably be plenty more.
Oh, I imagine so. I imagine there'll be a lot more.
But yours has been duly noted. So,
duly noted.
You're on the record for a corner joke. Zane, got one down.
That'll work. All right, you guys have a wonderful day and take care.
Appreciate it.
You too. Thanks, Zane.
601-485-9191 here on Mornings in Meridian. We got another call on the line, but caller, hang on one second. Miss LaWanda on Facebook had a question here. What were the total votes in Lauderdale County on governor? For governor in Lauderdale County, Tate Reeves did win Lauderdale County. He ended up with 10,000. And I believe it was 10,038 votes, which was 55.71% to Brandon Presley, 7,721, which was 42.85%, and Gwendolyn Gray with 234 votes here in the county for 1.30%. And of course, the third party candidate, even though she did drop out, that did sway a little bit of the vote. I mean, it wasn't enough to get to that runoff, but it did sway a small percentage of it. I mean, just barely that 1% here in Lauderdale County. But overall in the state, it was a couple of percentage points that did take away from the two candidates right there.
It could have been the difference for Presley going to a runoff. I'm not sure. I didn't look at the statewide numbers. Certainly it wouldn't have been that significant here locally. But 18,101 voted for governor.
Yeah. So there he goes. Yeah, that ended up being the total vote here in Lauderdale County was it was 43.99%. So basically 44% of folks here in the county voted.
And what does that compare historically? But
and this does include absentee, by the way. So,
although some may still be postmarked. I think you have until the 15th to get them in if they're postmarked by yesterday. So there may be a few trickling in, but I doubt there'd be that many.
We'll get to the District 2 supervisors race in a moment because you want to talk about every vote mattering. That one did.
Yeah, you see it right there in black and white.
Let's go to the phone line. Hey, caller, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Rob, could you give me the winner of the third race at Hialeah today?
He called the governor's race, so maybe you can.
I heard you, Charles. I heard you.
I had a pretty good record yesterday, so...
Well, I just want to congratulate Stella and Ward and JJ, and I was thrilled to see a lot of my votes that, of course, I didn't vote for JJ. I don't live in the district, but I was pulling for him, and I just a lot of my votes did end up in the winning column, so I'm grateful for that. But I think the Dems are going next year. Are going to try to put abortion on the ballot as much as they can, so that will draw people to the polls. And it's kind of scary. And of course, Zane made the comment that it's just mind-boggling to see what's going on in our country and what's happening. And I believe somebody said that Presley was a moderate.
Mm-hmm.
I think he portrayed himself as that for election purposes.
Mm.
But if you look at his supporters, I don't think they would have supported him if he was planning on being a moderate if elected. And so just my thought. One question I do have, you guys.
Yeah.
And I live in Lauderdale County. Let me preface my question by that. But one of the supervisor races in Newton County, that showed no results for it. Do you have any idea about that? Was it not on the ballot, or?
Let me look and see real quick. I've got
maybe they didn't report if they didn't have an opponent. That I thought that was a possibility.
Jimmy, do you remember what district it was?
I'm thinking 2, but I'm not sure.
Okay, let me
Newton County Supervisor.
Yeah, I'm looking right now here. Look through all, because so many numbers to go through last night.
Oh,
Let's see.
I know. I mean, you got all the surrounding counties.
Yeah, District 3's got results over there. I'm not seeing a District 2 popping up over there. I got District 1, 4, 5, and 3.
Yeah.
And they all have results.
Yeah, and District 2 didn't, and I was just curious. I thought they all had to run at the same time.
Yeah,
so.
it may have been where I don't know. That's a great question. It may have been one of those deals where it may have been an off year for that district. It may have been, who knows? So a little different. It may have been in some other counties. So.
Well, it was an interesting night, and I congratulate Tate Reeves on his victory, and glad that we've got him there for 4 more years based on the alternative. So I hope you guys have a great day.
Yes, sir. And if you need any more gambling picks, I'll be available at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
All right.
I'm not a gambling man, but I had to throw that in that comment about your excellent prognostication. So
yes. Thank you, sir.
Y'all have a great day.
Bye.
Thanks, Jimmy.
601-485-9191. Let's thank our friends up in Philadelphia at Doc's Toyota. Of course, they had a big election day yesterday there in Neshoba County. And make that short drive to Philadelphia and check out what they got there on the lot at Doc's Toyota.
That's right. It's not too late to vote for Doc's. Of course, they got all kinds of 2023 Camrys, Tacomas, 4Runners, Tundras, Highlanders, Corollas, you name it. Toyota makes it, and they've got plenty of them up there. They also have a huge selection of pre-owned inventory, and all of the pre-owned inventories have been through the rigorous multi-point Toyota inspection process, so you know it's a good quality car. You can check them out online at docstoyota.com. Of course, go see them. They're right up the road in Philadelphia, Mississippi at Highway 16 West. Check them out and give them a call, 601-781-8017. Well, you can also rent a vehicle up there. So if you're not sure that you like a Highlander, 4Runner, Corolla, go rent one for a couple of days. Make sure you love it. And when you do, go see them at Doc's, because there is no deal like a Doc's deal.
There is one race that is not quite done just yet as far as, I guess you would say, technically a state office, and that is the Central District Public Service Commissioner. This race is still extremely too close to call right now between Brent Bailey, the incumbent, and DeKeither Stamps, the Democrat. And just looking at some more numbers here, I mean, basically they are at a 50-50 split right now with 94% of the precincts reporting. Stamps has a very narrow lead. I mean, just a few hundred votes in that race. But here in Lauderdale County, Mr. Bailey did very well with 62% of the vote, but a lot of those rural areas have yet to be counted. So that one is still there on the board this morning. I believe Central District Transportation Commissioner, did Mr. Simmons end up winning that race? I'm pretty sure he did. I know he ended up winning that 54% to 46%. And Simmons did not do very well here in Lauderdale County. He did lose to Mr. Ricky Pennington in Lauderdale County, but he ended up winning overall that entire race. So Willie Simmons goes back into office for another term. Of course, we talked about that a little bit here on the program. Of course, Delbert Hoseman going back in as lieutenant governor. The rest of the state, rest of the statewide races kind of went how we thought they would go. District 45, that House seat. Michael Cassidy did win Lauderdale County, but he lost overall. Keith Jackson ended up winning that race overall. Like I said, very weird lines that 45 is, but Cassidy did win Lauderdale County with 990 votes to Jackson's 899 and Rickles with 31 votes. But the overall picture, Cassidy did not win the overall race for 45. So Democrat Keith Jackson will go into office there in 45. Getting into Lauderdale County, for sheriff, the final tallies on that, Ward Calhoun was 74% of the vote to Gerald Johnson's 26%. So congratulations to Ward Calhoun, the sheriff-elect. In Supervisor District 1, Justin J.J. Anders with nearly 75% of the vote to Tyrone Johnson's 25%. So J.J. Anders will go into his first term in January as the new supervisor of District 1. And here is the big story of the night locally in the supervisor races, folks. It doesn't get it could get a little closer, but this is pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Craig Houston and Wayman Newell in District 2. This includes absentee votes from last night, but like I said, maybe there's a few maybe floating out there.
Like 7 or 8?
Maybe. Craig Houston with 1,623 votes to Wayman Newell's 1,616. Goodness gracious.
7 votes.
7.
Yeah.
Wow. There is 2 write-ins on there as well. I'm seeing those here on the ballot. So 3,283 votes in District 2. That is about as slim as it can get.
Yeah.
So we'll see if there's anything. Like I said, this is unofficial results from the Lauderdale County Circuit Clerk's office. So like I said, they have to certify everything, and maybe there is a few folks who may have voted absentee mail-in somehow that may shift that a little bit. But I can't remember a supervisor race being that close before.
No, not with that many votes cast. It's incredible.
Yeah, that was one I was kind of up in the air about yesterday. I was kind of like, this could go either way, and boy, it definitely could go either way maybe right now. So other supervisor races, well, the last one here, District 5 Supervisor Kyle Rutledge with 72% of the vote to Mr. John W. Temple's nearly 28%. So Rutledge will go back in for another term as District 5 Supervisor. As far as election commissioners go, Brenda Faye Harris defeats Consuelo Rue. Nearly 63% of the vote for Harris, 35% for Rue. The Justice Court Judge District 1 seat, Nick Lisi with nearly just over 62% of the vote to Jesse Coach Hill Jr.'s nearly 38%. So congratulations to Nick Lisi, the new District Court Judge-elect there in District 1.
I think we got to call him Judge Lisi.
Judge Lisi? Yeah,
yes,
Judge.
Sir. I got to be super nice.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And Justice Court Judge District 2, Andre Harris Sr., 78% to Loretta Lolo Allen Bennett's 21%, a handful of write-in votes there. And I think everything else on the final page here is mostly uncontested races.
Right.
That's what it looks like here. So, like I said, no big surprises. As far as the local races goes, I thought the coroner's race would have been maybe a little tighter, but as far as Stella McMahon, I don't think we went over the complete coroner numbers. We might have.
As far as the number of candidates that ran, or
no, wait, that's a different story.
Yeah. I beat Zena to the last joke now. So
exactly.
Zane.
Stella McMahon got 11,220. That was nearly 63% of the vote to Rita Jacks, 6,576 for nearly 37. So I thought that gap would have been a little tighter, but the voters of Lauderdale County overwhelmingly voting for Stella McMahon for coroner. So, but like I said, no big surprises in the other races. I think they kind of went how we thought they would go.
Sure.
But obviously, the big headline this morning is Governor Tate Reeves getting that second term in Jackson in the governor's mansion by that 51-2-ish margin right there in the percentile. So, but Charles, thoughts on the results from yesterday locally?
Yeah, District 2 was a surprise. I agree with that. But I think, as you said, everything else was predictable. And I really want to thank everybody who ran and was not elected. I think they did a great job. The election cycle was, for the most part, very friendly, cordial, and respectful. And so it's nice to see that in local politics. So, and if you were not fortunate enough to win this cycle, please stick your hat in the ring again and keep going because we appreciate the efforts you've made and the contributions that you've made. So, but no, not a lot that really surprised me. I was a little surprised about Kentucky, but when you kind of dive into it, the economy, the success, and his Bashir's separation from Biden and all of the Democratic. Kind of machine makes sense because they like him personally. He's done a great job as governor, and so they don't identify him as he's like a dino, if you will. He's not really buying into all of the
Today is.
So I was a little surprised about Ohio. Thought the working class would vote for against putting the abortion on the Constitution, abortion rights. But when we looked at the marijuana initiative on there as well, okay, we're getting that marijuana crowd out, and they're the ones who are going to vote for that. So that made more sense when you kind of dove into that. And Virginia, it makes sense. A lot of academics, a lot of liberals up there, and so to win both houses would be a bit of a challenge, and so not too surprised about that. But pleased that Tate won in the way that he did. I was a little concerned they would go to a runoff or that Presley would have a stronger showing just because there is that anti-Tate, took away my flag sentiment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about the results coming up later on the show. But after a short break, we'll talk the Veterans Day program coming up this weekend. We got Tommy Horn in the building. We'll visit with him coming up here on Mornings of Meridian. Stay close. All right, welcome back into Mornings of Meridian here on this day after Election Day. And we'll talk more about the results coming up shortly. We got a phone call on the line. I believe we got a winning candidate on the line.
Whoa.
We'll get to that here in just a moment. But, Charles, let's thank our friends down at the Magnolia Restaurant, Queen City Truck Stop.
That's what I'm voting for today for lunch.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Wednesday we got chicken and dumplings.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds good. Post-election lunch. Everybody needs to be down there. Of course, fried chicken, hamburger steaks with onions and gravy, fried or grilled pork chops. I know we'll go with the fried because I'm not a very healthy person. But, you know, if you want to go grilled, that's fine, too, because they're fantastic either way. And, of course, they've always got the veggie plates down there at the Queen City Truck Stop. Easy to find, exit 150. Just go down there, and you can't miss it. The service is friendly. The air conditioner's cold. The coffee's hot. Man, it's just a great place all around. Your favorite, the Biggie Burger. How big is that, Bob?
It's huge.
Huge. And, of course, they always have the long-haul breakfast as well. If you're a long-haul truck driver, that will keep you going all day long. Even if you're not a long-haul truck driver, it will. Go get something to go, 601-482-0259, or just go have a great meal. The Magnolia Restaurant inside the Queen City Truck Stop.
All right, Charles, before we get to our next guest, we're going to talk about a big weekend coming up, Veterans Day, of course, on Saturday. But before we get to that interview, we've got one of the winning candidates on the line who's checking in with us this morning, the brand new coroner-elect of Lauderdale County, Stella McMahon. Stella, you there? We may have lost Stella.
She's waiting for us to yell Stella.
Stella!
Stella!
Yeah, she'll call back.
Okay. I'm feeling healthy, by the way, just so that we know.
Are you feeling healthy, by the way?
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm feeling a little.
Well, another individual who appreciated your one vote yesterday to get him back in as county attorney is Tommy Horn. He's on this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank y'all for having me.
I would have voted for him twice if I could have. I'm not a Democrat, so I can't. But,
There we go.
oh, leave that alone.
So we're the day after the election day, and of course, Veterans Day is coming up this weekend. And of course, Tommy's here to talk about the big program that's coming up Saturday in downtown Meridian.
That's right. And so that's Veterans Day is easy to remember because it's always on the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And so that falls on this Saturday. And again, I'm here for the Veterans Day Planning Committee. And, that's a group, that's not just the local VFW, but it's, of course, the VFW, American Legion, Fleet Reserve, Disabled American Vets, the Order of the Purple Heart, and the Marine Corps League. So it's a big group of people that come together and put these events on every twice a year. So Saturday is the Veterans Day tribute, and that will be at the Doughboy Monument in downtown Meridian at 10:30 a.m. And just assembling there at the Doughboy Monument, and then afterward at the VFW post on Highway 1180 over there by MCC, there'll be a lunch for all veterans and tribute attendees, so everyone's invited to get some free barbecue there. And then at 3 o'clock, you can come back to the Doughboy Monument, and that's the optimal viewing point for the parade that they're also putting on.
So the parade will start around 3 o'clock on Saturday, right?
That's right. If you're in the parade, lineup would begin at 2 on 25th and Avenue and 9th Street. But if you're just going to attend, spectate, you want to be there at the Doughboy Monument just at 3 o'clock.
So 3 o'clock, very good.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
of course, the Veterans Day program is always fantastic. Great speech. Last year, I thought was just wonderful down at the Veterans Day program. What's kind of on the lineup this year for the program?
So we have Jimmy Harvey's going to provide the welcome. We got Father Augustine Palletman giving the invocation. Algie Davis is going to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. We got Patrick Kirby doing the national anthem. Jimmy Harvey acknowledging veteran organizations and the guest speaker. And this year the guest speaker is Captain Luke Davis, who's the Navy 06 commander out at NAS Meridian. And then, of course, the laying of the wreaths will be ushered in by the auxiliaries, and we'll conclude with taps and benediction. So that's the general layout. And the day before is the Algie Davis's program at Southeast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I always say this, Tommy. The one at Southeast, I think, is kind of sets the bar. I mean, Algie does a great job with that, and that'll be 9:30 on Friday. So, but getting back to the meal, veterans that are listening out there, if they want to head down there, they're more than welcome to come down there to the VFW post. They're on 80, right?
That's right.
Fantastic. So, but this will all start Saturday morning, 10:30 at the Doughboy Monument in downtown Meridian, the Veterans Day program, and of course the parade later on that afternoon at 3 o'clock. Is there still time if folks want to maybe get into the parade? Is there still time to get in the mix on that?
There is. There's applications that you have to for the city, and they can be found on if you email me or Richie Nelson, Richard Nelson at richardnelson5425 @hotmail.com. We can still get you the parade application in and out there. So, or I can be contacted. I'm easily found on Google. So, and I can get you the application form. It's all. If somebody still wants to get in there and enter in, so that's still available.
Very good. So, Charles, always a great event in downtown Meridian with Veterans Day.
It is, and they light the flame at the Doughboy, don't they? And what does that happen at 11 o'clock? Is that right? At Armistice, the actual time it was signed?
I believe that would be at the actual.
And so it's once a year, and so you never get to see that flame lit, and it's really a neat thing. I've seen some photographs and really just a beautiful time. So,
and that's the Doughboy Monument is a landmark.
Mm-hmm.
I remember looking at it as a kid, and not really being conscious of what World War I was, but seeing that like what's a soldier statue, so it is very much a Meridian landmark. It's been here for right at 100 years. So
fantastic. So, and once again, your speaker is going to be remind us.
Captain Luke Davis, from the commander of NAS Meridian.
Okay, very good. I believe we've had him on the program a time or two here at Mornings of Meridian. So things get started at 10:30 on Saturday morning, and of course you'll have the lunch thereafter. Probably be a few minutes, everybody gather from the program down to Old 80 there at the post, and then the parade thereafter at 3 o'clock. So it's a full day.
Yeah, it is.
Of stuff going on for Veterans Day. So, but once again, if you folks have an organization that wants to get into the parade, just contact yourself or Ricky Nelson, and you guys can get them squared away.
One thing that we try to remind people is that this isn't just for if you're a veteran or if you had like a son or somebody that served. It's for everybody is encouraged to attend and to show support there. So
fantastic.
I think it means a lot, especially to the older guys too. So
fantastic. So,
and I think we all have somebody who served. I mean, even my great grandfather was in World War I, in the trenches. So you can imagine how that was. But even though I didn't serve, my father didn't serve, and none of my children have served. There's still a connection. I think we all have that connection, no matter how far back we go. And people have fought for. Well, he fought for England, but still for the liberty and the way that we live. So it's important that we get out there and support them and support the current veterans as well.
Absolutely. Well, we'll send everybody down there. It's Saturday morning, 10:30, Doughboy Monument, and the Veterans Day program, and of course the lunch for the veterans thereafter at the VFW post. They're on Old 80, and of course the parade thereafter around 3 o'clock, and lineup is going to be at 2 o'clock. Same kind of lineup area. What was the location again on that?
25th Avenue and 9th Street.
25th and 9th. So there you go. So if you folks want to get involved in the parade, contact Tommy or Ricky Nelson, and we've got their information here, and we can pass that along to you here on the program. So, Tommy, appreciate what you guys do with the Veterans Day program, and it's going to be a great day on Saturday. Maybe a little cooler than it has been this week, but I think it's going to be some good weather for it. So, absolutely. Yeah. So appreciate you coming in and see us. So
thank you all for having us.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more of the show after this. All right, welcome back to the show here on Mornings in Meridian, about 14 minutes away from the top of the hour. Big thanks to Tommy Horn for coming by to see us this morning, a part of the Veterans Day Planning Committee for Lauderdale County. Big program on Saturday, 10:30. Really encourage folks to get down there and support the veterans.
Get down, bring your flags, too.
Absolutely.
Show that, wave a little support.
And, of course, the parade on Saturday afternoon around 3 o'clock in downtown Meridian. Should be a wonderful day to celebrate Veterans Day. Of course, a lot of programs going on. Of course, the program at Southeast Lauderdale, they're on Friday morning at 9:30. A lot of things going on here in East Mississippi to honor our veterans.
Definitely.
So, all right, let's go back to the phone line. We're going to try this again. Take two. we have got, I guess you would say, the Lauderdale County Coroner-elect on the line. We've got Stella!
Good morning.
Stella McMahon, congratulations, the Coroner-elect of Lauderdale County.
The last one
Yes,
standing.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all so very much.
Stella, as you saw the numbers come in last night, I always ask this to candidates when it comes to election night, when it looks like it's trending in your favor. When did that realization hit you that, man, I'm following Clayton Cobbler now?
Oh gosh. I think it was, I don't know what time, but when the county votes started coming in, and I was quite a bit ahead, I just kind of and stunned, thinking I'm really going to be able to do this. And he does. I mean, he's got such a legacy and big shoes to fill, the number of years, the integrity, I don't know. It's quite impressive, and it's going to be a hard act to follow. But he's going to be, I mean, he's so supportive, and he, said from the beginning, whoever gets it, he wants them to do well. And so I know that he's going to be there to guide me and offer whatever support he can. So nothing's going to change except for who's there.
Right. Well, I know this has been a long campaign, and one filled with lots of funnies from WALT.
And lots of candidates.
Lots of candidates. But, I mean, this has been a journey for folks running for this office. I mean, this started with a very crowded field in the Republican side. Of course, it went to a runoff between you and Kenneth Graham, and then, of course, we get to the general election last night. So you're one of just a handful of candidates who had to go through this not once, not twice, but 3 times.
3 times, yes. I mean, it has been hard working 40-plus hours a week at the funeral home and getting out in 115-degree heat and knocking on doors and getting signs out. And, there's people I couldn't have done that without, just those big signs. And I don't know. It's been hard, and then having children or teenagers. I have teenagers at home, so, they still like to eat and everything. So you got to go to the grocery store and just, I don't know. It's been interesting.
Absolutely. What is, so what do they think of Mom being the new coroner of Lauderdale County coming up?
They are so excited, and they kind of feel like celebrities at the school.
Celebrities at the school. All right.
They just left a few minutes ago to go to school, and they're just beaming and can't wait to get to school because they know everybody's going to be talking about it and excited for them and for me. So it makes my heart feel good to be able to make them proud too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, they're great kids, so you should be proud of them. That's wonderful.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Well, Stella, this has been a journey for us too. Obviously, local politics can be somewhat, interesting, but also fun at the same time. And the coroner's race was one we followed from start to finish, like everybody else. And we're so proud of you, and congratulations. And we know you'll do a fantastic job. So
thank y'all so much, and thank y'all for all that you do. During this time, I didn't know until I was in it, but
yeah, and don't be offended by this, Stella, but I hope I don't encounter you on a professional level anytime soon.
You're right.
Everybody always says that. I hope I don't see you anytime soon. Right. And I'm like, no, I hope you do, because if you don't see me and I see you, that's when you got a problem.
Exactly. We got some issues there. So
you've got an unalive problem.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
That's not a problem I want to have. Yeah. I know why.
Stella, appreciate you, and all the best. Okay.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks,
All right. Stella McMahon, of course, victor last night for Lauderdale County coroner, and it is we talked about this yesterday on the program. Very historic day yesterday, with a chapter kind of turning over from not just Clayton Cobbler but the Cobbler family as a whole. I mean, and now Stella McMahon's going to be the new coroner. She's the coroner elect, of course. Will get sworn in January. And first female to hold that office as well. Another historic aspect of this, and I know Stella will do a great job.
Of course, I think she will too. And it was historic, and not only the coroner's race, of course, the sheriff too. So there's the
sheriff.
Two big ones that we've really got, and I think that the county's in good hands in both of those departments. So,
absolutely. 601-485-9191. I would love to hear from you folks out there as we continue to react from the election yesterday, locally, statewide, and of course some of the national stuff that came down the pipe yesterday as well. But I always vote for A&A Glass for
everybody does
glass replacement services, and I've used them several times either on rock peck or windshield replacement. Adam do a great job.
Yeah, and sometimes I throw things at your car, so that may be why.
That's what it is.
Sorry about that, but anyway, I'll try to stop. Yeah, but I go see them too. A&A Glass, conveniently located 217 22nd Avenue or Cedar Ward Parkway, whichever way you want to call it, just 2 doors down from the Meridian Children's Museum. Give them a call, 601-693-GLASS. Oh, that's easy to remember. They're the #1 glass replacement company here in town, have been 10 years running, so people do actually vote for them. They're open 8 to 4 Monday through Friday. They'll beat any price in town, and they'll work with your insurance company. And what's key is if you just got that little peck, that little crack, with the weather getting warm, cold, you know how it is. It's going to expand, contract, and before you know it, that little crack is going to be a big crack. You can't see out the windshield. Boom, then you got an accident. So prevent all that from happening by going to see A&A Glass. 217 22nd Avenue, 601-693-GLASS.
Of course, we did mention earlier the race that everybody is talking about as far as the closeness goes is District 2 Supervisor, a 7-vote difference right now between Craig Houston and Wayman Newell. Of course, unofficial results. We always have to use that word unofficial. This does include absentee ballots, but like I said, there may be a few other maybe votes.
The 15th, I think, is the deadline.
15th deadline to get those in. So.
Not to get them in, they have to be postmarked by yesterday, but arrive by the 15th. So you're at the mercy of the Postal Service.
This is a true example, folks. Every vote does matter in a local election.
That's right.
Every vote does matter.
My vote don't count. Yes, it does.
I mean, in that district alone, 7 votes right now.
2 were write-ins. So if the 2 write-ins had actually voted for one of the candidates, then it would have been, if they both voted for Wayman, it would have been 5. But still, it would have been, that's incredibly close.
Well, if that holds...
I assume they would have to do a recount because it's so close, they would probably just automatically trigger one.
Yeah. If that were to hold right now... we would have 2 new faces on the Board of Supervisors. Of course, Judge Anders in District 1. And if this holds right now in District 2, Craig Houston in District 2, of course, 3, 4, and 5 will be, of course, Todd Norwood and Rutledge, who won fairly easily last night in District 5.
Joe won pretty well, too.
Yeah, him and Josh did okay last night.
Yeah, 98%.
It's that unopposed candidate.
Oh, that's what it is, right.
So, District 2, 7 votes.
Yeah, wow. Extraordinary.
Let's go to the phone line this morning. Hey, caller, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you all doing?
Yeah,
morning.
just dissecting numbers, but other than that, we're doing great.
Great. Let me preface by saying thanks to you and Charles and Roger and the entire gang at the station for what you all have done during the election. You all have been available and accessible and have gotten to the best of your ability, have gotten information out, and you have done a yeoman's job, and I really appreciate that. And I want to say to all of the candidates, if you didn't win this time, then please don't let this be your last time, because I truly believe relative to politics, if competition make you better. When you know that someone is out there who could easily vie for your job, and the voters might say they think they might be able to do a better job, then it just make you perform better and realize that you are public servants. And Rob, I was just thinking, how fitting was it the day after an election for you to have a guest on talking about Veterans Day, because we all know that it's those men and women who every day and who have in the past and who will in the future put on that uniform representing the United States Armed Forces to keep us where we can have elections like this and we can make the choice about who will serve us. And I'm just eternally grateful to the men and women in uniform. And again, thanks to all the candidates and congratulations to all of the winners. And now we are all Mississippians, we're Lauderdale Countyans and Meridianites, or whatever case might be. And let's put this new force together, however it's been, manifest. And let's really see if new blood will make the difference in things in East Mississippi. And I'm just excited about what lies ahead for those winners, especially. And again, Rob, Charles, and in his absence, Roger, thank you guys so much. I will come up there anytime, invited or uninvited. I appreciate you.
Stop by.
Yeah,
bring food.
Thank you all.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that so
Okay.
much. 601-485-9191. And I've worked these local elections many a times, but just this one in particular, of course, the sheriff's race alone. I mean, if you want to just unpacking this whole thing from primary until today, of course, the primaries, it was a summer of intense campaigning at a lot of different summer events for all these campaigns. But, of course, sheriff really steered things back in the primary. And I think the governor's race steered a lot yesterday here locally. With that 44% turnout, we were talking to Tommy Horn off air a while ago, and he kind of felt the same as we did. Maybe that was a little bit on the upside, maybe. And I know a lot of folks still say, oh, it's 44%.
Under 50%.
I mean, it's under 50%, still not good. And I agree, it's not good.
No.
But, the governor's race did steer the general election. So sheriff back in primary here locally, and I think the governor's race steered a lot of it yesterday.
Yes, I think you're right about that, and that kind of got people out to vote. There was, I think, a fair bit of interest in the local races as well, the supervisor races. But I think also with sheriff, I know that it seemed like a foregone conclusion that Ward would win. However, I think people want to get out there and support him as well, just to kind of put that checkbox by his name and say, yeah, go Ward.
Kind of reaffirm it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you're right. The 44% was an interesting number, but we would love to see it, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Dare I say it?
Yeah, it would be nice. So if people just, as Billy Jack always said, get off your duff and go vote.
I would like to say, and I know we got just a couple minutes, but Chick was saying that he appreciated all the candidates that didn't win, that put their hat in the ring. And we really met a lot of good, qualified people that, hey, man, keep up your civic service and please run again, because we can really use some of those people. I think it was really inspiring to meet a lot of those.
I think Lauderdale County and the state of Mississippi is in some pretty good hands, I think, as far as that aspect goes. So we're going to take a break here on Mornings in Meridian. When we return on the other side of the break from Fox News, we'll continue to talk election results from yesterday. Also, Rochelle Putnam is going to be stopping by to see us as well, talking about a big event. So stay close to Mornings in Meridian. We'd love to hear from you. 485-9191. We'll be back. This day after Election Day. I'm glad you're being with us here on a Wednesday morning, November the 8th at 601-485-9191. We'll get back to our phone lines here in just a few short moments. But Rob and Charles, Roger will allegedly return tomorrow.
I'll believe it when I see it. Well, I won't say it because I won't be here.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's thank our friends over at Barber & Sons Plumbing before we talk about a big event coming to Meridian this weekend.
That's right. When you say friends, they are friends because you need a friend in plumbing. Believe me, because, if your plumbing goes south, everything's going south. Barber & Sons Plumbing been doing it for over 80 years. I think they invented indoor plumbing. If they didn't, they were one of the inventors. I'm sure of that. 1123 26th Avenue. They've got every type of plumbing part available. And what's great about Barber & Sons is you can even bring a picture of the part that's broken. And Gary Barber knows exactly what it is. In fact, I've been waiting in line with a picture on my phone. He'll glance at it, keep talking to the other people, go back, get the part I need, and not even say anything to me and say, here you go. That's how you fix it.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
right.
wow, that was amazing. It's like he has ESP or ESPN. I don't know. Either one. The Psychic Plumber. That's what we call him. But, of course, you don't have to wander around a big box store looking for bin 47 in aisle 32, and then you get the wrong part, and you got to bring it back, wait in line, all that. Nope. It's one-stop shopping at Barber & Sons Plumbing. 601-482-7023, 1123 26th Avenue.
Fantastic. Appreciate Gary Barber and the staff there at Barber & Sons Plumbing here in Meridian. About 11 minutes into the 8 o'clock hour, and so much going on this weekend, and I think the max is going to be just a little busy.
Going to be maxed.
A little busy this weekend. Mm-hmm. We've got Rochelle Putnam in the studio this morning, and she's going to talk about all that busyness going on this weekend. Rochelle, good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great. We're just glad this election's over.
Oh, me too. Election day was my birthday.
Oh, well,
yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. So I had to
For my
vote on
birthday, I'm going to go
on
get
my
a sticker and
birthday.
vote. Yeah.
Yeah, they gave me an extra sticker because it was
Yeah.
my birthday.
Wow.
So. Well, it is going to be a very busy weekend here in Meridian, and if you love music, boy, you need to get plugged into this because, boy, there is so much going on, not just on Friday, but Saturday as well, all over downtown Meridian.
Yes. We've got Songwriters in the Round, November the 10th, Friday. We'll have rounds going at the Brick House Boutique and 3 Foot Brewery from 7 to 10. And then all the songwriters, we have about 12 songwriters. We'll all end up back over at the Brick House around 10:15.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just jam together, really get to know one another. Now, this whole event for this weekend is just really a taste, which is why the events are called a taste of MSA, which is Mississippi Songwriters Alliance. And so we will be joining forces with them next year, and we will become an affiliate of the Mississippi Songwriters Alliance, which is a huge thing for Meridian. We already have a Delta affiliate, which is Trish Walker in Cleveland, Grammy Museum, Delta State, Delta Music Institute. So I just wanted to throw that in real fast. On November 11th, on Saturday, we're going to have the Artist Trajectory Workshop. I should have thought that, I should have picked a better word since I can't pronounce it. But,
Trajectory.
but we'll cover. So I'm one of the facilitators, and Marty McIntyre. Everybody knows Marty.
Oh, yeah.
He's been in marketing for years. And we're going to talk about funding and promotion and the branding of artists. So this is for all artists, not just musicians.
Yeah, because that world.
An artist is an artist.
That
So if
world
you're a
is
starving artist, which many
Yeah,
are.
and that's what
this
we're
is
trying
you
to
need
help.
go.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Will
that,
you have food there
yeah,
for the starving artist? No,
starving
you're going
artist.
to keep starving. So.
So we'll
Yeah.
just cover how to apply for grants, how to apply for residencies. We'll talk about crowdfunding and patronage. We'll talk about how to sell your art and merchandise, some of the best online sources for that.
Business of art. Yeah, that's
because a
great.
lot of people just assume, oh, I'm going to do this and that's going to be that easy. But
It'll
there's so
sell.
many aspects of getting that out there. So that's going to be a pretty good workshop right there. So
We'll talk about the promotional aspect, building your digital presence, having an EPK, which a lot of musicians don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's an electronic press kit.
Yep.
And really, I think every artist should have a press kit that they could anyone can download from their website.
Yep.
And good high resolution photographs, because if they want to be highlighted in a newspaper or even a magazine, they'll have to have those things.
Well, and it brings a level of professionalism too,
does,
because
yeah.
I mean, it's not just it's like here's this, like a little handout or something like that. It brings your brand, which is you, to another level.
And
So,
then that's where we go next. We
Yeah.
end up with the branding
Yeah.
part because you are a business. If you're really serious about your art, you are a business, and that's really how you have to conduct it. And now your brand may be, very quirky. It may be, adding comedy. It may be very serious, but people know you by the brand. It's just like, your logos. They know WALT when they see their logo. They know what they do. They know what music they play. They know what the hosts are like.
sometimes I wish that wasn't the case. Like
Kinda hide that, don't we?
Right.
Yeah. Ooh.
But that's Saturday from 1 to 3, and then starting at 3:30, going to 5:30, we want to offer a stage to everyone. So we're going to have 3 open mics going at the Brick House, at the Max, and at Meridian Underground. This just gives artists a chance, to go and, perform a new piece of work. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be music. It can be a poem. It can be whatever.
Stand-up comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Well,
it,
there you
it
go.
just
There you
really,
go. All
Yeah,
right.
it's for you.
it's designed to help you get used to being, doing a presentation or doing a performance. So, and then lastly, but not leastly, we have the Grand Taste at the Max. And that's when you're going to really hear some phenomenal music. Mississippi Chris Sharp and his daughter Piper, and everyone knows how wonderful they
Oh
are.
yeah, fantastic.
From the Succonachi Review. And then we'll have Brandon Green, who is the 2021 Mississippi Songwriter Alliance Songwriter of the Year, and that'll be from 7 to 10. There'll be a food truck there. So look, just come out. I mean, and it's all free. The whole weekend is free.
Free.
Yeah.
Except the food truck. You got to buy the food there. But apart from that, it's all free.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I mean, that really is a lot of course, we got Patti LaBelle coming on Thursday at the Raleigh Center, so that kicks off the whole
man.
kind of
Yeah, that could be
music
perfect.
weekend.
Good
and,
Lord,
yeah.
man.
I'm exhausted thinking about
It's a
it.
music
So,
weekend. I like it.
Yeah, but so we're going to have, you're anticipating a lot of local artists coming out and
Yeah,
kind
we
of,
do have some out-of-town songwriters coming. We'll have information there on the Mississippi Songwriters Alliance. We do hope the songwriters will take advantage of becoming a member because there's so many resources through the Alliance. There's a regular newsletter. All members are invited to participate in the big festival in Ocean Springs every year.
Well, let me ask you. So I'm a musician. Well, no, hypothetically,
I
I'm
didn't
not
know.
really. But anyway, so say if I am, and I play covers. I don't write my own music. Can I come and play some covers, or is it strictly for original?
Well, now at
music?
open mic, you can. This is really highlighting the songwriter who
Okay.
never gets highlighted normally.
Sure.
Usually it's the big art. But what is great about that is if you are a musician and you don't write original music, the collaboration between you and a lyric writer, you can really start forming relationships and creating your original material, and you may just write the music.
So this is a pathway to become a
Yeah,
songwriter
yeah.
as well. Okay,
It's
great.
all about collaboration because that is really the only way. The music industry is brutal, and everybody knows that.
Oh,
and tries to break in.
Yeah.
And even those who, have their music at Spotify and the different places, they know how little they make. When you start building these local relationships, and then you also learn of these other funding sources that pay you a whole heck of a lot better, and other ways that you can use your art, whether it's music, songwriting, or even visual art, to do presentations, to work with schools, to just work with community events, festivals, thing. That's that's where your bread is really going to be.
Gotcha.
Because
Okay.
you're not going to make it in the, Spotify.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean the music world is tough. It's a tough thing to break into for
It's
sure.
a tough world out there, no matter what industry.
Yeah,
you're in, I think.
exactly.
Yeah.
So-
but definitely music. I know that.
So November 10th, that's this Friday, folks. That's when things kind of get kicked off in downtown Meridian at the Brick House, and of course, 3 Foot Brewing. There'll be rounds in 2 venues that night from 7 to 10. Then we'll just have a big jam session after that, 10:15. Well, everybody will meet back down at the Brick House, and I like this 10:15 until we get jammed out.
Oh, and
We be
and
jamming.
any musicians can come and join. So
I can bring my
is that-
kazoo.
Yeah, bring whatever you want to.
I'll be practicing the next couple of days. Believe me.
Just
Yeah.
walk up the street and do your thing.
That's right. My silver-plated kazoo. Very impressive. Take it out of the case, the whole bit.
Very good. Well,
just kidding.
getting back to the workshop here on Saturday, like I said, a lot of different aspects on this: funding, promotion, branding. If folks are not going to do the music part of this and they just want to go to this, I mean, because a lot of folks think maybe I have the music thing figured out, but this part I'm not very good at. But if they can be a part of that, they can just roll into that too, right?
Right. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, of course, the workshop we're talking about is the artist trajectory. There we go. Bingo. Trajectory.
Nicely said.
Yeah.
You could run for corner.
Pronunciation.
Yeah,
No,
run
not
for
anymore.
corner.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I gotta wait 4 years. The workshop, funding, promotions, branding, that'll be at from 1 to 3 at the max, and of course open mics thereafter from 3:30 until 5:30 rather. That'll be at the Max Brick House and Mom, and of course the big finale is going to be the Taste grand finale there at the Max, and everything is going to be in downtown Meridian. I think within that little circular area right
Walk
there.
around
So,
with your instruments.
fantastic. So, and here's the thing, folks: free
Free.
and open to the public. So, and of course, Mississippi Chris Sharp and his daughter are just fantastic, and I think that's a big enough treat to get folks down there as well.
And we really want to thank the Mississippi Arts Commission because
Yes.
I applied for an independent artist grant and was able to do this project. And the Mississippi Songwriters Alliance and the Max are both sponsors. So we really want to give them, a huge, grateful thank you.
And of course, we don't
Awesome.
want to forget
Good
about
shout out.
Brandon Green. He is the Songwriter of the Year, the 2021 MSA Songwriter of the Year, and he'll be a part of this as well because it's highlighting songwriters. And I know that's the big goal here is to highlight that, and of course, folks trying to break in as well. But this is all happening on Saturday. Anything we've missed here that we
I
haven't
think
covered?
You've got it covered.
Man, so there you go. So you got a lot going on this weekend downtown, Charles.
We do. And you know what I think is great is that we have we had the girl from the director of The Wiz in, was that yesterday? Day
Yes,
before? I don't remember
yesterday.
now.
Yeah, yesterday.
And there's so much talent, whether that's acting, music, all kinds of talent with these young kids. And now we've got these kind of incubators,
Yes.
and the Max has been a part of that, but we've got this component as well. So it's all kind of coming together.
It's coming together.
And New Orleans has the same thing. Of course, the bands, in high school, they teach them to a very high level, but that's why they get all these brass bands, all the jazz bands, and everything like that, because the music and the arts is so strong in the school system. So
and it's a community.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we
And that's
really
what we're
are.
identifying as the
Yeah.
Arts Center of Mississippi. So wonderful. It's just, as I said, another component of that.
Fantastic. If folks have more, if they need more information about this, they can reach out to you guys, I'm assuming?
Yeah, they can call me at 601-880-1089.
All right.
And they can find me on Facebook and, message me there if they'd like to.
Fantastic. It's 2 days, November 10th and 11th. That's this Friday and Saturday, downtown Meridian. Songwriters in the round, Grand Taste of Meridian. So much going on with the Mississippi Arts Commission here in Meridian. And, boy, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Veterans Day, go see some
Yeah.
music. Man, what a great weekend.
Got your weekend planned. So, Rochelle, always good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So we're going to take a break, and we'll return here in just moments and take more of your phone calls at 485-9191. Well, a big thanks to Rochelle Putnam for coming by to see us. Boy, it's going to be a busy music weekend, Friday and Saturday in downtown Meridian.
Yeah. And Thursday.
And Thursday.
Yeah.
What, Patti LaBelle's going to be here in town.
I believe it's sold out, yeah. That's going to be a great show.
Did you get your rest this week?
No, I never get any rest. Rest.
There you go.
And you're going to be hosting a race on Saturday.
Yeah. I got to run for hope.
Job number 34.
I got to go to Starville tonight, too, for another ball game, so I'm all over the place, too.
Basketball?
Volleyball tonight.
Okay, but there is opening basketball, isn't that right?
Yeah,
tonight?
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot going on.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's go back to the phone line this morning. Of course, we got Your Money Now and Fox News coming up momentarily, but let's go to the phone line at 485-9191. Hey, caller, good morning.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Hey, Miss Ruth.
Yeah, it's Patty LaBelle. Of course, I heard her when she was here the last time. But I want to talk in terms of the Veterans Day. I'm thinking, since we don't have a draft anymore, maybe somebody could come up with the idea that gap year students could go somewhere within our country or outside of our country and interact with other people and see what's going on in the world. That was why the 60s was so popular. You know, you had the Peace Corps, and it was just an eye-opener for so many people. But let's talk about this yesterday. I'm thinking that with that voter registration, the application form for your voting in red at the bottom of the page, just simply say, continue on the next page. If it's there in black and it's the last line on the page, maybe you're not paying a whole lot of attention to it, and then you're apt to miss it that you were told to turn to the, continue on the next page. If it's in red, just put it in red, that's all. You can't miss it there. The second thing is that there is a telephone number. I don't know what it is now, but I'm going to find out that you can call to find out, where you're supposed to go to vote. It was just a nightmare yesterday because people were going to a place, and I'm guilty of it. I went to the First Big and moved me from the First Baptist Church downtown, and then I was moved to the Council of Organization. And then last night when I went to the Council of Organization, nobody was there. And then I called. There was a number that I called, and they told me that I'm supposed to go to the Boys and Girls Club. When I got to the Boys and Girls Club, there were people there who had been all over the town to different places. They said, well, some people sent some letters out when the change came. Well, we lead a very busy kind of life, and a lot of times we're not paying a whole lot of attention.
Miss Ruth, Miss Ruth, do you have a voter registration card?
Yes, I have a card, but what I'm saying is, we don't have to get on the defensive for this. What needs to happen is,
because I'm looking at my card right now, and it's got my precinct on it.
And they do send a new card each time they change it. But as far as the first point of turning the paper over,
I understand that. There's no reason to be sensitive about it. Things are in an excellent shape, by and large. But we're talking about these few votes. We're here looking at somebody who has 10, 11 votes or something. Those things matter because I'm sure there were people who showed up at the Council of Organization building. It was too late for them to go to the Boys and Girls Club. So these votes, they count. So what we're saying is we're not being negatively critical. We're just saying that there are some ways in which we can do. And in the case of Raymond Newell, a lot of his constituents were very surprised that he was even running again. He's been telling them that he was not going to run anymore. So what happened? So we've just got all of this stuff going on, that is just totally unnecessary.
Oh.
But like I said before, basically we have people are doing an excellent job and that sort of thing, but we just really need to look at what can be improved on your voting, on your voting sheet in red. If there is some change that needs to be done, put it in red rather than in black. All right, because a lot of times people are going from work, they're tired, they're going from one job to the other. They're not paying a whole lot of attention.
Well, Ruth, on that point, I will tell you that the votes for the second page were exactly the same as the first, so nobody made the mistake of not turning the page over.
No.
Out of all of the ballots cast.
What's her name yesterday? Wait a minute. Didn't what's her name yesterday called to say that she didn't know, what's her name?
Miss
Joe?
Joe, yeah.
She wasn't aware, but she did turn it over and saw it. But
she was complaining about it.
I'm just telling you that the number of votes cast on the front and the back ballots were exactly the same. And so there wasn't one person who did not turn it over.
And the thing about it is, whenever I went to go vote yesterday, the lady who got me signed in the book, she said, "Here's your ballot, front and back," and she even showed it to me. And a lot of the poll workers were doing that as well, where I voted at. So.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That
and plus, we should all be very much educated on who is on the ballot, because we get sample ballots as well that are provided by Donna Jill. And if you look on the ballot and you don't see the particular race, you should turn over, and it should all be on the back as well. So pretty easy stuff. Pretty easy stuff.
I think that as citizens, we have a responsibility to check our mail and also look if we have a notification from from Donna Jill that is changing our polling place. So, I mean, we can't just expect, we have to actually be responsible citizens as well and open the mail and look at the card and say, oh, we've had a change. I mean, they can't call everybody. So I don't know of a better or a more effective way to inform people that their polling places have changed.
Well, one way is just to do what we're doing now, just let people know.
You're right. We can put it on the radio.
That they need to be paying more attention to what's going on, and then you won't have the situation
that's true in general.
that we had last night.
Yeah, and that's why we air Donna Jill's public service announcements like clockwork all the time, especially her latest one about voter registration cards, and to be sure you check it in case there's any changes and stuff like that. So I think WALT has done a really good job of educating the public about voter registration. So, all right. Okay, there we go. I think we just
okay. All right. Well, thanks, Ruth.
All right, 601-485-9191. Before we take our next call here, let's thank somebody's going to be on the show next week, and that's our good buddy Jeffrey Wilson. Of course, he'll be in with FCA Director Dalton Smith next week, talk about some stuff going on with Fellowship of Christian Athletes. But that's just one of the many things that Jeffrey is involved in.
Well, he's like a good neighbor.
Absolutely.
Yes, he is. And here's the deal: when you combine State Farm auto and home insurance, you can save an average of $889 a year. That's not too shabby. State Farm agent Jeffrey Wilson is ready to help you combine your home and auto and save right here in Meridian. Call him today, 601-483-8253. And I tell you what, as you mentioned, he's involved in a lot of groups, and he really is. I mean, you see him all over town. He is a good friend of the community, and he can be your good friend, too. You can sit down with him once a year, and he can evaluate all of your insurance needs. And it's important that you do that because your insurance needs change year to year, and he can actually save you even more money than the $889 on average. Call him today, 601-483-8253.
All right, let's go back to the phone line at 485-9191. Hey, caller, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jim. I'm just going to make it short here. Congratulations to all our winners, and thank God the state has been saved once again.
Wow. That remains to be seen, but yeah, we hope so.
Yes, sir. But listen. The one problem that I have with voting is that I don't care if Democratic or Republican or independent card. I am just an independent believer. Independently, I make my own decision. The problem that I have is that when you go into the voting precinct, they ask you Republican or Democrat. No one has no business knowing what I am.
Only in the primary, I think, not in the general election.
Not supposed to be in the general.
Yeah, but even with that, because I had a friend, the last primary, they asked her, and she said Republican. They looked at her like she was an alien. Hey, come on, we don't need that. It ain't your business how I vote.
Well, they have to, during the primary, they have to ask that because you have to vote along party lines in a primary. So
the ballots are different.
So that the ballots are different. So you can't vote across party lines in a primary. You have to vote by party in a primary.
Now you can,
So every major, we won't have that situation during the major.
Yeah, during a general election, right. You can vote a Republican here, Democrat here, Independent. I mean, It's your choice in a general election. So.
Yeah. because until the Republicans change, stop doing what I believe in, I'm going to vote for them. And if anybody come along that that's going to be for the country, that's who I'm voting for. He might be an alien. If he's for the country, I'm with him.
Yeah.
Amen. Right.
All right, General. We're listening in. Always a good program. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate you,
that.
my man on the street out there. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, 601-485-9191. And, during a primary, you have to vote along those party lines. That's the reason they ask
there
you.
should be no judgment given. And,
if there is, I mean, that's unfortunate.
So I might judge them. But and I know some people who will actually vote on the opposite party so that they can vote for the candidate that they think is least likely to beat their own candidate, whether that's Republican or Democrat. So they do a strategic, switch over. Of course, it goes to runoff. They're committed to voting to that party. But either way, there should be no judgment on whichever party you want to vote for.
Absolutely. So got a comment here from Zane. He said, tell Charles to move your mug right 3 inches and 4 inches closer to me for some reason. I don't know why.
That's it. So we wouldn't have to see my face, probably. Thanks, Zena. I appreciate that.
Zane, yeah.
Move the mug so we don't have to see his mug. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, goodness. Let's go back to the phone line. Hey, caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
I agree with Miss Ruth. Some of them did not tell you it was front and back.
Mm-hmm.
And how I knew it was because Joe called in yesterday morning.
Yeah.
And I went over there at the start to, mark my ballot, and I went back and I told a man sitting at a different table, I said, they need to tell the people that it's front and back. And I said, I wouldn't have known if I hadn't heard it on the radio.
Yeah,
I mean, no, you're the first one we forgot to tell.
I'm gonna brag on my precinct, Meehan Volunteer Fire Department. The ladies out there said you got a front and back ballot, and I voted a little after lunch yesterday, so maybe I was one of the rare exceptions yesterday.
But
so.
I will say that looking at the numbers, there was not one person who did not vote front and back. The numbers 1801 were exactly the same for the the statewide elections as they were for the local ones. So, and it may be that people realized that they weren't told, but everybody eventually came to the same conclusion.
But like I said, I can agree with Ruth. Everybody wasn't told.
Yeah.
So, but if they went on, so be it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Ruth was right. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. All right, 601-485-9191 is our number here on Mornings in Meridian. And, folks, if you're looking to get a new roof on your home, and we'll get back to more of the totals coming up here in just a few moments, then you need to call our friends down at Ready to Roof.
That's right. Call them today, 615-731-1150. Of course, you can always go online and make an appointment at ready2roof.com. They're Meridian's only Master Elite certified roofing company. Sounds pretty fancy. And it is. Only 2% of all roofing contractors in the nation have qualified as Master Elite certified, and Ready to Roof has. What's great about Ready to Roof is they also have financing options available. Low monthly payments for that brand new roof. 601-573-1150 for your free estimate, or make an appointment online at ready2roof.com.
Zane just commented here on Facebook. He said he was told to vote front and back. I mean, I was told the same thing as well at my precinct. And, of course, with us here, we cover these elections like crazy here. And, when you looked at the ballot, you're like, okay, I don't see all my county stuff. And just me, logically, I would say turn the ballot over and look. But then again, I can understand there'd be some confusion possibly with some folks not knowing that you have to turn the ballot over. But then again, just different strokes for different folks on that, I would guess. I mean, but yeah, I was told at my precinct to flip it over.
Yeah,
too,
told me to. So,
yeah,
and hopefully it did tell everybody. Obviously, they
and maybe it was a couple of isolated incidents with poll workers. I mean, you're working those that 12, 13-hour day, and maybe at that point just did not clarify that with some of the folks out there working. So maybe that's something they need to look into with the poll worker training when it comes to that. So, but like I said, every election there's always a few little bumps in the road, and maybe that was a couple of the bumps in the road.
But
on
it did
this
say
one,
on the bottom of the ballot as well, turnover. There's more candidates on the back, or whatever that. I don't know how it was worded, but so. I mean, there's only so much you can do.
I know,
to
right?
guide people through it.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Let's go back to the phone line. Hey, caller, good morning.
Mega morning, true American patriot.
Yes. Has I did not write you in for coroner yesterday.
I did.
So,
No,
you did.
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
I think I'm the only person in the county that didn't run.
I'm about to
Pretty
say.
much.
I'm
Well,
kind of disappointed in myself.
we were too.
You didn't get more than you got.
Yeah.
And like I said, the election's over.
Thank God.
And them Republicans across the board beat them demon cats like a new drum. It was a great day for America.
Yeah, I think statewide, a clean sweep across the board. Of course, Reeves won. I think right now they got him at 52%. And Hoseman won pretty easily. Shad White, no problems there with him. So, Republicans did well.
Well, I had some problems with old Tater Tot Head and Hoseman. But, there's just absolutely no way I would ever vote for a Democrat under any circumstances. And that was my choice. And I voted a straight Republican ticket. And, everybody's got to let your conscience be your guide. And mine was clear. But since the election's over, everybody can either do the cheering or crying in their beer or whatever. Let's everybody try to turn out for Veterans Day.
Absolutely.
Let's give a little attention and a little thanks for those that wore the uniform in the defense of America in war and in peace. I think Winston Churchill was credited with this statement. Those also serve who stand in wait. And, we take a lot of stuff for granted over here. And it's high time that maybe we need to teach patriotism. We need to teach national pride. We need to bring America back to the greatness it once enjoyed. And you see these people like this Talib woman, part of the squad. If you feel like that and you're willing to incite violence, you're willing to get out there and do your little anarchist activist deal, you need to be deported. What this country needs is a new and improved version of McCarthyism, the Council on Un-American Activities. Everything from socialist communism down to inciting riots, burning cities, and, I didn't get my way, so we're going to loot the stores out. If we want to, we can stop this. But you got to want to first. And you got to be willing to take it to the limit. And that limit starts with enforcing existent laws. These sanctuary cities, this border, they're all in violation of constitutional law.
I hate to interrupt you, but what was your thoughts on the abortion vote in some of these votes yesterday, or some of these states yesterday? So especially Ohio, and of course, so that's going to be that's going to be a big issue, obviously, for Democrats next year.
It's going to be a hard thing to push in the South, the Bible Belt, and personally, my own convictions, it is legalized murder. Legalized murder. And in modern times, there's really not a whole lot of reason for a woman to get pregnant that doesn't want to, with all the contraceptive options. Also, every medical doctor takes the oath of Hippocrates, the father of medicine. Some people say it's a Roman Galen, but Hippocrates, oath of Hippocrates. And it specifically addresses abortion. I'm a right to life type person. If you don't want that child, there are other options. There are people that would give anything that can't have children to adopt a child and give it a good home. But like I said, people have hardened their hearts. The mindset of the whole country has become reprobate and perverse. You see it in everything nowadays. This country's falling apart like a cheap suit, one stitch at a time. It's sad. But I hope to see everybody down there at Veterans Day, and let's go take a little time to thank the people that we are free, that this country has survived 247, I think, years of freedom against all foes and enemies. That's something to be credited. This is the longest sustained democracy. Of course, this is a democratic republic in the history of the known world. And everything, all our enemies are not foreign. Our enemies, the domestic ones, scare me worse than the Chinese and the Russians. You can see them coming. They wear their colors. The ones I think about are the sneaky snakes, the ones that work in deceit and darkness and lies. They're the ones that will ultimately put America in the trash bin of history, if not stopped. Let's get back to what made America great, the basics. Let's rout out these socialist communists and deport them, round these people up that are here illegally, man, and get rid of them. No other country on earth would put up the stuff that America's putting up with. I don't know why it's happened. It's happened over a long period of time. It didn't happen over a weekend. This has happened over decades of neglect. So roger that, boys, and I'm glad the Republicans hoorah for the party. Roger that.
There we go. We got two Roger that's this morning.
A double Roger that.
I
Yeah.
like it. So, but yeah, I got to echo what Has said about Veterans Day, folks. A lot of events coming up this week. Of course, Meridian Community College is going to have an event tomorrow morning at 11, and then Friday. Coach Davis, what he does out there at Southeast Lauderdale, I cannot speak enough about that. Their program's at 9:30 there at the gym at Southeast Lauderdale on Friday morning. Then the Veterans Memorial Park will have one at 1:30 on Friday. And then, of course, the Doughboy Monument, which we talked with Tommy Horn about earlier this morning, will be there at 10:30 in downtown Meridian there at the Doughboy Monument. That's the when things will kind of get kicked off. They'll have a lunch for the veterans there at the VFW Post on Old 80 there after that program. And, of course, the Veterans Day Parade will be at 3 o'clock on Saturday. So a lot of events. That's just here within our Lauderdale County area, but a lot of other counties around the state are going to be having those.
I'd even tie in the songwriters, because songwriters,
it's all going to be there. Yeah.
It's all about freedom of speech, and songwriters, that they have been the voice of many generations. So that's another right that they protected. So anyway, honor them all.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break. We got some bills we got to pay off, and when we come back, we'll go through the local election totals with you one more time in case you missed some of those, and close out the show after this here on Mornings in Meridian. Stay close. All right, welcome back into the program. We got just a few minutes left here on Mornings in Meridian, and appreciate all you folks watching on Facebook Live this morning as well. Don't forget to head over to WALTMeridian.com and get registered for those Egg Bowl tickets. Ole Miss and State play on Thanksgiving, and if you want to go to the ball game, simply head over to the website, WALTMeridian.com, and register, and we'll do that ticket drawing here in the next several days, and, of course, powered by Chunky River Harley-Davidson and Bonita Wine and Liquor. Appreciate those local sponsors for helping us out with that. So WALTMeridian.com to get registered.
And employees cannot win.
That's right.
No, whatever. I quit.
6 minutes away from 9 and Glenn Beck, but we need to thank our friends down at Battery One Source. I'm going to testify on behalf of my bride.
Preacher brother.
She had a battery issue. She was able to get it started at the house. I was kind of left powerless here at work. Couldn't really leave and go help her out, but she was able to get on the road. And, of course, I said Battery One Source, went down there, new battery, back on the road, easy peasy.
Wow.
Yeah. So
just like that.
Just like that.
Said, John, hook me up.
Yeah.
And he did. Well, and they're easy to find in between exit 152 and 153 on North Frontage Road. Give them a call, 601-693-1500. Batteries for every need and description. Of course, for vehicles and tractors and you name it, as far as anything that moves, golf carts, motorcycles. But they also have batteries for watches, remote cell phones, and even laptop computers. And, of course, if your cell phone screen is broken, which many are, just bring it down there. They got the best guy in the business for that quick fix. They're open 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. That's Battery One Source, 2618 North Frontage Road, in between exit 152 and 153. 693-1500. John Newford will take good care of you.
About 5 minutes away from 9 here, and results from yesterday, of course, the big national story is the governor's race here in Mississippi. Tate Reeves wins a second term with just over 52% of the vote. That's about 96% overall. So, yeah, the AP called that race late last night. So Reeves will go back in for a second term. Of course, the rest of the state races from lieutenant governor all the way down to attorney general and whatnot, all were swept by Republicans. Lynn Fitch, of course, Delbert Hoseman, Shad White, the whole gang there. So
Brent Bailey, the Central District Public Service Commissioner, it's still up in the air.
That's still up in the air.
Behind a little bit, but we'll see what happens with the when we get the full results and also the absentee ballots.
Of course, we had Stella McMahon on the program earlier this morning. She is the brand new coroner, the coroner-elect here in Lauderdale County. She ended up with around 63% of the vote to Rita Jack's 37%. Lauderdale County District 1 Supervisor, congratulations to Justin J.J. Anders. J.J.'s a great guy. I think he'll do a great job there in District 1. He won 75% of the vote to Tyrone Johnson's 25%, so J.J. Anders will be the brand new supervisor there in District 1. District 2 Supervisor, this one just blows my mind of how razor thin this is. Craig Houston, this is with absentees included, but of course, election's not certified yet because you still have obviously maybe some mail-ins that could be trickling in over the next day or so. Craig Houston with 1,623 votes to Wayman Newell's 1,616. That's close.
It is, and I don't know what triggers an automatic recount, but I would think that with that percentage being so small that it probably would. And I don't know if Wayman needs to file something in order to trigger that or if it just automatically does. But anyway.
Supervisor District 3, Josh Todd was unopposed. He'll go back into office. District 4 unopposed with Joe Norwood. District 5 Supervisor Kyle Rutledge with an easy win there to go back in office as the Republican. 72% to 28%, around 28% there for Mr. John Temple. For the Election Commissioner, District 2, Brenda Faye Harris defeats Consuela Rue, 63% to just over 35 unofficial results there. And Justice Court, District 1, Jesse Coach Hill dropped a tough one there to Nick Lisi. Nick Lisi with just over 62%, the unofficial winner there with Jesse Coach Hill with 38%. And the rest of the races here locally, for the most part, were unopposed. Do have Justice Court District 2 Judge Andre Harris Sr. With 78% to Loretta Lolo Allen Bennett's 21%, and everything else is pretty much uncontested. So that is a recap of all of the stuff here locally in Lauderdale County. Of course, Ward Calhoun did not go over those numbers, but he won fairly easily. The sheriff's race, 75%. So new sheriff here in Lauderdale County.
New sheriff in county.
Mr. Chancellor down in Clark County, new sheriff down there in Clark County. So history down there to the county to our south. So big night. It was a big night for Republicans, obviously, with Tate Reeves going back in as the governor for a second term. So, but
on the national level, not so much of a big victory for the Republicans. So I think they need to kind of reassess and look at what they need to do for the next cycle.
Absolutely.
Coming up.
Well, folks, we'll unpack it more tomorrow, obviously. And, yeah, it was a very busy election day as Lauderdale County, with just a little shade under 44% of the folks got out there and voted yesterday. So, but appreciate you if you did get out and make your mark yesterday. So we'll take a break until tomorrow. Charles,
We'll do it.
Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, see you on Monday.
All right, good deal. Folks, Glenn Beck is up next. And, of course, as we always say, buy local.